President Barack Obama announces sweeping changes to U.S. immigration policy. A new music video draws inspiration from a momentous sporting event. And you thought you were having a bad day at work? This reporter could give you a new outlook. Africa 54 starts right now.
Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori. This is Africa 54. We begin in the U.S., where President Barack Obama has announced sweeping changes to U.S. immigration policy that will affect the lives of millions of undocumented immigrants. Mr. Obama's plan also is heating up opposition in Congress. VOA's Caroline Presuto reports from the White House.
President Obama addressed the American public from the White House, saying the U.S. immigration system is broken.
It's been this way for decades. And for decades, we haven't done much about it.
The president said his executive order will allow immigrants to come out of the shadows. It temporarily protects undocumented immigrants from deportation and gives them work permits as long as they have been in the U.S. more than 5 years, can pass a background check, and have children born here.
It does not apply to anyone who might come to America illegally in the future. It does not grant citizenship or the right to stay here permanently or offer the same benefits that citizens receive.
The priorities for deportation will now be terrorists, gang members, violent criminals, and recent arrivals. His plan expands the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, known as DACA, by shielding people from deportation for 3 years, providing they arrived before 2010 and enrolled in school, regardless of their current age.
Are we a nation that educates the world's best and brightest in our universities only to send them home to create businesses in countries that compete against us? Or are we a nation that encourages them to stay and create jobs here?
With more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country, the president's orders will affect about 5 million.
President Obama.
Republicans are bitterly fighting the plan, saying the president should not act alone. Leaders Mitch McConnell in the Senate and John Boehner in the House.
The president had said before that he's not king and he's not an emperor, but he's sure acting like one.
But make no mistake, when the newly elected representatives of the people take their seats, they will act.
But congressional scholar Thomas Mann doesn't think there's much Republicans can do.
The only way they can undo these orders in a practical way is to win the next presidential election. If they win it, their president can withdraw those executive orders, and if the party wants to go with that position, they can.
President Obama has had his frustrations with legislators. Professor James Thurber has written about Congress and the presidency.
He obviously is thinking, well, they haven't done anything, the Republicans. They probably won't do anything. I'm going to get criticized for this anyway, but I want to do the right thing. It'll be part of my legacy.
The American public isn't so sure that executive orders are the way to fix immigration. A recent poll shows 48% against it, 38% in favor, and 14% unsure. The soonest any of these programs will go into effect is early next year. As one senior administration official put it, you don't just flip a switch and start the next day. At the White House, Caroline Presuto, VOA News.
And to West Africa now. Nigerian lawmakers have rejected President Goodluck Jonathan's request to extend the state of emergency in 3 northeastern states where the army has been battling the militant Islamist group Boko Haram. The People's Democratic Party, which is the country's main opposition party, says the special powers were a complete failure at curbing the Islamist violence in the region. Our security forces fired tear gas inside Parliament Thursday in a clash with at least 200 supporters of House Speaker Aminu Tambuwal, who the police wanted to keep from coming into the building for the vote. Eventually, a closed-door meeting of some lawmakers was organized with the Speaker, and it was decided not to renew the special powers requested by the President, but no vote was taken. Well, the head of the World Health Organization says the institution will be judged by history on its response to the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. There has been widespread criticism of the global response to the crisis, with accusations that poor coordination between institutions has cost precious time and resources. Henry Ridgewell has more.
More than 6 months after the Ebola outbreak began in West Africa, the global response is in the spotlight. A memo from the World Health Organization leaked last month suggested incompetent staff and a lack of information hampered efforts to stop the disease from spreading. Questioned on the issue Wednesday, WHO Director General Margaret Chan acknowledged there were problems.
There will be time for history, and we will review how the whole world, and especially WHO, managed the Ebola outbreak. But at this point in time, it is important for us to focus our entire energy and attention to help countries who are being affected to get the job done.
The Ebola outbreak has laid bare an institution in crisis, says global health policy expert Sophie Harman of Queen Mary, University of London.
The World Health Organization should have had a clear leadership role in the Ebola response, but increasingly we see bilateral organizations such as the UK Department for International Development or the US government taking a lead role. Multilaterally, it's really been the World Bank that's stepped up in this regard, and the World Bank has no confidence in the World Health Organization.
The World Bank pledged an extra $100 million last month for the fight against Ebola. Several United Nations agencies are also involved. Again, Sophie Harman.
We have multiple institutions, but nobody really directing where these energies should be going towards.
The United States has taken on the biggest burden in funding and manpower. The first group of military members from the US Ebola mission returned home Tuesday. China and European states have faced criticism for their contributions. Barry Johnston is with a British charity working in the region.
Unfortunately, the response has been shockingly slow and is still not good enough. We still have seen some of the major global donors, the EU, are not stepping up, and it's only really, and it's worrying, that when it starts to threaten their own doors, that they're prepared to respond.
The European Union's Health Commissioner visited Sierra Leone and called on EU states to do more.
I appeal to the EU member states to encourage health workers and volunteers, especially epidemiologists, to put hesitation and fear aside and go to West Africa and to help fight Ebola now.
Campaigners claim global efforts to fund the fight against Ebola are being undermined because multinational companies in the region are failing to pay taxes they owe affected countries. Again, Barry Johnston of ActionAid.
So ActionAid looked at 3 countries affected by the Ebola crisis, Sierra Leone, Guinea and Liberia, and found that in 2011, the last year that figures are available, those countries actually lost more money to tax avoidance than they were able to spend on their health services.
Analysts say rebuilding those health systems will be the crucial next step for the international community. For now, all efforts are directed at containing the disease. Henry Ridgewell for VOA News, London.
Well, until the last case of Ebola is stamped out, the world is still at risk, with over 5,100 deaths and over 14,000 reported cases of the deadly virus. According to the WHO, there is still a lot of work to be done. Moving forward, who will continue the much-needed but dangerous work? Innie Thompson, our visiting reporter from Nigeria's Channels TV, looks at the world's efforts to stop Ebola.
In August, the World Health Organization declared Ebola an international public health emergency and published a roadmap to guide a global response to stop ongoing transmission within 6 to 9 months. 3 months down the line, there's both good and bad news, creating uncertainty on the achievement of this goal. As of mid-November, the World Health Organization reported that deaths since the outbreak in March were well over 5,000. And also, the frequency of new cases is fluctuating in the 3 most hit countries, Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone.
And as the medical professionals will tell you, it's going to be extremely difficult to get it down to zero. It's going to require intensive, laborious efforts to do that, and until that's accomplished, as long as there's one case of Ebola in any country, it's a threat to not only that whole country, but that region and the world, as we've seen.
Given these facts, is the world doing enough to win the Ebola battle? Non-governmental organizations like Doctors Without Borders lead activities in the affected countries. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg has donated $25 million, as well as adding a button designed to make it easier for Facebook fans to donate cash to charities. Aliko Dangote of Nigeria donated $1 million. The spotlight, however, falls on wealthy countries regarded as the giants of the world, with the United States topping the lists.
There is a need for far more commitments and far more deliveries upon commitments in order to bend the curve. There's a need for more beds. There's a need for more bleach, more cash in order to pay community mobilizers or people who pick up bodies so as to do safe burial.
President Barack Obama is seeking $6.18 billion from the U.S. Congress to enhance comprehensive efforts to address this urgent situation.
We've trained over 250,000 people. What we need to do now, and that's part of what this request is about, is to make sure that that training continues and extends, and we need to measure it.
During the Haiti earthquake, Americans, charity organizations and individuals gave more than $1.4 billion and $1.6 billion to speed up South Asia's recovery after the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. While people's wallets don't seem to be opening as wide for the fight against Ebola, everyone from presidents to pop stars and athletes seem to be getting the message, even if it's later than some would like.
Body contact.
Ini Thompson reporting for VOA News, Washington.
Together, we can beat Ebola.
Excuse me. We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. Check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, a hit single celebrates the Africa's strength, unity, and spirit. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's time for Friday Music Makers segment, and today we feature Rocky Dewuni, a reggae artist, singer, and songwriter from Ghana. He has a hot new music video out, and here to tell us more about him is Music Time in Africa host Heather Maxwell. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you, Vincent.
Yes, now you got to speak to this gentleman.
I did.
What inspired him to do the video that we've done about?
Well, he says it was a rumble in the jungle.
Yeah. Oh, right.
This video came out right about the same time we were celebrating the 40th anniversary of that major fight.
Yeah.
But it's also something he wants to use as a metaphor for, or to encourage unity and conversation among Africans and people in the world who are having conflict.
Let's see how he does this. Let's watch the video.
Okay.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. For every boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. For every boom, boom. African thriller, na dance hall ruler. African thriller, na dance hall ruler. This musical campaign. we gon' hit you without pain. Some of you go they complain, but they dance all keep on moving. So my people no go be long before the weak hand go make strong. Now you know say nothing be wrong to move to this tempo all night long. Now liberation music. We go to rock with new foundation. African thriller, nothing so ruler. Everything we gonna be hot, hot. African thriller, not champion ruler. Everything we gonna be hot, hot. Now you know I got the moves to supply you with the groove. Now the rhythm go control conscious rocking dance or party. So my people gather around, feel this excitement from head to toe. Everybody open your eyes, man, this be time where we fall do so. Now this sweet sensation, feel the rush, vibration.
So you would say, as people watch this and enjoy it, they need to listen to the message, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, the message is beautiful, and also when you're watching it, you see that dancing, they're bringing their own traditions, the costuming, this dance style, but they're also mixing it and merging it and trying to resolve something. Rocky on the phone, he was saying, it's like people come and they're negotiating on the dance floor. So and that's what he hopes people do.
Important. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much once again for another fantastic Music Maker segment, Heather. Now, to learn more about Heather Maxwell and her VOA radio show, visit Facebook and type in the keywords Music Time in Africa. And you can see what time our radio program can be heard in your area and get more information about some of our featured artists. Well, it's time now for a short break, still to come on Africa 54. Ouch! A reporter's rough day on the job. So we'll be right back.
إنسان قتل إنسان.
غادي Là, on est complètement en position.
Welcome back to Africa 54. Here's what's trending. You are a reporter. You know you might have to take risks. Now, veteran television correspondent Mike Emo thought standing next to a skate ramp in Venice Beach, California would be safe. But during his piece to camera, the Australian reporter was nailed in the back of the head by a skateboard. A loud thwack is heard when the board makes contact after a skater loses his footing. The journalist walked away unscathed, and like a real pro, he continued doing his job. Look at him. Well, next up, Prince Harry dons his polo breeches to swing his mullet for charity. The Royal arrived at the Gantour Racing and Polo Club in Abu Dhabi to play in the Centerbell Polo Cup. Harry was raising funds for the charity he set up in memory of his late mother to help children affected by HIV and AIDS in Southern Africa. Because of the ban on alcohol advertising in the United Arab Emirates, Prince Harry's team could not play under its usual name of Royal Salute and was instead being called the Huntsman Team after the Seville Royal Taylor, which is another of the sponsors. And finally, in Argentina, everything old is new again. 72-year-old Argentinian shop owner Carlos Ruiz has attracted international acclaim with his retro collection of athletic shoes. Now, a group of Adidas employees from the UK found out about Ruiz's shop and paid him a visit in February, which put his store on the map internationally. That trip ended with the shop owner selling part of his beloved stock to the Adidas shoe designer. The selected items were subsequently exhibited in the UK as part of the 2014 Design Manchester Festival. And that is what is trending today. Now, a futuristic dream only a couple of decades ago, the hoverboard, skateboard that floats above the ground has finally been made possible. Now, while still not ready for the mass production, it promises to become a cool mode of transport, at least over some surfaces. VOA's George Putich reports.
It's easy to see that mutual repulsion between the same poles of two magnets can counteract the force of gravity and make an object levitate or hover in space, like this magnetic toy. Since the 1980s, that principle has been employed in so-called maglev trains in Europe, Japan and China that hover above the track. With no contact between the carriage and the surface, and hence no friction, maglev trains are almost noiseless and can move very fast. Architect Greg Henderson, who founded the company ArcSpax with his wife Jill, says the same technology can make anything hover, even buildings.
Imagine that there's an earthquake and the early warning system turns on the hover systems and the supports fall away as the building starts to hover. The shaking stops, the supports return, and no one in that room or that building ever knew there was an earthquake.
As a proof of the concept, Henderson's company created the first maglev hoverboard, called Hendo, capable of holding a single person about 2.5 centimeters above a metal surface.
We are creating a magnetic field, and then through a method of induction that's part of our secret sauce, we're creating a secondary and equal magnetic field in this conductive surface.
For now, batteries that power Hendo's 4 engines last only for a short time, but design engineer Kyle O'Neill says for experienced skateboarders, it is enough to learn how to control the hoverboard.
Some people say it's like snowboarding. Some people say, this is like how I imagine a hoverboard is supposed to be, which is kind of an interesting response because no one's ever ridden one before.
Hendo's creators say they do not expect to see their hoverboard on the streets anytime soon because it only works on a metal-covered surface. But they say larger hover engines could be used for transporting containers, for instance, within a warehouse. For now, their dream is to build a skateboard park where anyone can take a spin on a hoverboard, straight out of science fiction. George Putich, VOA News, Washington.
Well, it's an exciting Sports Friday. Sunny Young is joined live in our studio this evening by a professional football player from Ghana. Sunny.
Hello, Vincent, and sporty greetings once again to all our Africa 54 viewers. Joined this evening by Samuel Incoom of Ghana and DC United. Samuel is a defender. Samuel, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much.
I know you've had a pretty well-traveled career already, Samuel, in Europe. You recently completed your first season with DC United. Yeah. How did that go for you?
I think it was great. It was a great season for DC United. I think we did a great job. I think we were first in the Eastern Conference. I think I would just like to thank the fans, the coach, the playing body. I think I came to the team when I came, they are more like family. So I'm also excited to be here.
Now, I know some African viewers, they wonder what's the quality of Major League Soccer like. Can you compare it with maybe some of your European stops?
Yeah, I think for me, there's no difference. I think MLS League is like, it's the same like Europe. I think for me, it's a great league. That's why you can see a lot of stars are in the league now. So it tells you how the league is. And I mean, for me personally, the league is strong.
Now, you have a lot of international experience too with the Black Stars of Ghana. Big week in African football. We now know all the teams that are going to go to Equatorial Guinea. What did you think of that qualifying competition, Samuel?
I think the guys have done a great job also to qualify. I think it's not going to be easy. When we are talking about African Cup, I've been there before. And I think they have done well. They need to, I think we need to do extra more to push the team. So I think they have done well.
Now, there were some surprises, including the reigning champion Super Eagles of Nigeria not booking their ticket to Equatorial Guinea. Did that catch you by surprise?
Yeah, I think in soccer it's like that. You know, sometimes when surprises in soccer, it tells you how now everybody have developed in terms of football in his various countries. So I think it's sad. They were defending champion that they couldn't qualify. It's very sad, but I think for me, the life must still go on. So I think for me, I would just say it's very unfortunate that Nigeria will be there because it's our derby. So I think this is a time we need to also take the trophy as well.
Now, if I look at the tables, Cameroon did very well in the qualifying, and so did Ghana. And I think they've each won like 4 Nations Cup titles. Do you like the chances of Ghana in Equatorial Guinea?
I think that's why we're saying that there's a time we need to also take the trophy because, like, we know, like, we have it's tough group also. Like those who have qualified is very tough. We have Cameroon, we have Ghana. And it's a tough group, so I think we need to do everything possible. It's not going to be easy like you take African Cup. You need to work. We need to work extra hard. So I think we are going to do that.
Finally, Samuel, what are your goals for next season in Major League Soccer?
I think I'll pray to the Almighty God to give me the strength. That's the most important thing. So I think I'm going to make the fans and everybody support DC United and also the league as well happy.
Samuel Nkum, Ghana and DC United defender, thank you for joining us on Africa 54.
You're welcome, sir.
And that's the sunny side of sports. Vincent?
Well, thanks a lot, Sonny, and that's it for today. Have a good night. Enjoy. I'm a place.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, forever. African thriller, now dance hall ruler. African thriller, now dance hall ruler.
Welcome to the Voice of America's Newswords.
Listen to see whether you can hear the word that means one side.
The possibility and the risk of some shots being fired or some aircraft or ship being shot at has increased markedly because of Chinese unilateral changes to the status quo.
Unilateral means involving one group or country.
It is when a country or a group takes an action or makes a decision alone. This can happen without the agreement of others.
And often, a unilateral action is good only for the side that acts. Now, when you hear the word unilateral,
your American English will be good enough to know what this newsword means.